What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the P to the A. Today we're making an easy salmon recipe with just 3 ingredients. If you're not sure how to cook salmon, I'm going to show you how in this easy to do recipe with just 3 ingredients. Of course, when you're dealing with fresh salmon, you're going to need a nice sharp knife in order to cut it. Check out the description and I have links to the products that I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the salmon into smaller pieces. With some of these pieces I'm going to go ahead and make dinner today. And then some of the other pieces I'll cook and I'll save it so I can eat throughout the week. In other words, I'm going to food prep with some of these. Now on this back end or the tail end of the salmon, I'm going to go ahead and cure it and you can see what it looks like. So if you want to check out this recipe, make sure you subscribe because this is a delicious cured salmon and very easy to do. So I am cutting this in smaller portions, you don't have to, only because I'm meal prepping as well. I'm going to have vegetables and the starch. I'm cutting this to what I think should be the right size. So we're going to make this recipe with just 3 ingredients. And the first ingredient, of course, is going to be salt. So everybody has salt. You're just going to sprinkle some of the salt right over all the salmon here. And I'm using like a sea salt or a coarse salt. But if you don't have that, you could just use regular table salt. But you want to go ahead and make sure that you salt both sides. Go ahead and tap it in there so the salt is in the actual fish. Number 2, we're going to go ahead and use some fresh ground pepper. Again, we're going to do this on both sides. So as you can see, I did it on the skin side and I'm doing it on the other side. After your freshly ground pepper, we're going to go ahead and use olive oil. And again, we're going to follow the same concept. And we're going to go ahead and coat the fish on both sides with the extra virgin olive oil. Or if you have just regular olive oil, that's fine as well. But you have to make sure that you coat it on both sides so it doesn't stick to your pan or to your grill. Again, 3 ingredients: salt, fresh ground pepper, and olive oil. Cooking salmon is very easy to do, requires very few ingredients, and unlike other fish, it doesn't stink your house. So I am going to cook this salmon 2 different ways. As you can see, I have a grill here, which I'm going to cook that salmon, and I'm going to use the non-stick pan as well. So the fish is ready to go, so let's get cooking. In your home, you can go ahead and use a non-stick pan like I'm using here, or if you have the grill like my oven does, you can use the grill. But basically, it's the same thing. I just wanted to show you how versatile salmon is, and just using 3 ingredients, you can get 2 different meals. And it is going to taste a little bit different depending on how you cook it. So going from the non-stick pan to the grill here, it is going to taste a little bit different, only because that grill has been seasoned and it's just going to develop different taste on the grill than you're going to get on the non-stick pan. But either way, it works. If you're looking for a great non-stick pan, I have a link on the description for the Calphalon non-stick pan that I'm using. It's a great pan, especially for cooking salmon. So I do have the pan and the grill on medium heat. As you can see, it's not sticking because we did coat that salmon with olive oil, and of course using a non-stick pan helps. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and just sear the salmon all around and try to develop a nice crust all around while also maintaining and keeping the juices inside and making it moist and not dry. But to be completely honest, you don't have to work it as much as I am. You could just go ahead and flip it once or twice. I'm going to go ahead and use the extra olive oil that I have on that plate just to go ahead and coat that side a little bit more, so when I do flip it, it doesn't stick. So that's all I'm doing here. Very simple to do. You can see it's already developing a little crust on the skin side. And you can see on the grill, it's also doing the same thing. When I flip it here, you can see that the crust is becoming caramelized. And you should always cook salmon with the skin. The skin helps it develop flavor. It helps to moisten the fish. And really, it's a crime to cook salmon without the skin, because sometimes I go to restaurants, I see that the salmon comes with no skin. Some of these recipes on YouTube, they remove the skin. And really, you need that skin to develop flavor, to make that fish moist and to make it stand out. You can see here how I'm working the salmon. I'm moving it all around to get a nice sear and an even sear. But to be honest with you, if it's your first time, you really don't have to move the fish around like I am. You can let the salmon cook on the skin side for a little while and then go ahead and flip it. So you really don't have to move it as much as I am, but I like to get a nice even sear. And really, I just want to show you how easy it is to cook salmon, as it stays intact and it moves easily. It's not sticking to the pan, it's not sticking to the grill, as you can see here. And I'm trying to also develop some of those grill marks and get flavor. So to cook this salmon, it's probably going to take you all in all about 7 to 8 minutes, and it's very easy to do. While the salmon is cooking, I'm going to show you how to make some quick meals. I have some lettuce here, some minute rice, and we're going to make some quick and easy meals out of this. So my salmon is almost done, but you can see there's a little raw spot right there, so I'm going to go ahead and flip that over to the grill. And once the salmon is nice and firm, it's usually ready to go. So like I said, about 7 to 8 minutes. You can see how I have developed a nice crust on this salmon, nice grill marks, and it's definitely seared all around. I went ahead and turned the heat a little low, and I'm just going to let it sit here for another minute. But you can see to the touch that it's nice and firm, and that basically tells you that it's nice and cooked and it's ready to go. It's really hard to overcook salmon, especially if you have the skin. So after about 7 to 8 minutes, if you feel like the salmon is nice and firm, you don't see any raw spots, chances are that the salmon is ready to go and it's cooked. And of course, if you're not sure, go ahead and just leave it on the grill for another minute or two. Like I said, it's kind of hard to overcook salmon, but here I feel like my salmon is done. I'm just going to go ahead and turn the heat all the way down, and I'm going to start prepping, and we're going to make a few different meals out of this. So let's go. Here is the finished result. You can see the salmon looks pretty good. Here on the right we have the salmon that was on the grill. On the left we have the salmon that was on the non-stick pan. Even though it looks the same, they have distinct different flavors, even though we use the same ingredients. So the first plate I have here is what I'm eating tonight, and it's just basically salmon over some lettuce and tomatoes, very simple to do. And here we have one of our prepped meals. This was the salmon that was on the grill. You can see it with the minute rice, a slice of lime, and we're going to go ahead and refrigerate it, and we can have this tomorrow or the next day. I also prepped another meal with brown rice and quinoa, again some salmon, a little slice of lime, and it's a beautiful thing. So right now I'm going to enjoy this meal, and you can see how nice and moist that salmon is inside. It's not overcooked at all. Beautiful crust on the outside, and it really is delicious and easy to make. I hope you have enjoyed this recipe. Subscribe for more videos.
Want it? No, sit. Lay down. Good. Good girl. Here you go.
And if you don't like the salmon skin, your dog will enjoy it.